Hello, good morning, and welcome to Abuja this beautiful, beautiful morning. It is not always that we go to the states to begin to raise issues arising there, unless those issues have kind of national import. But our people say, when you see what is more important than the yams, you sell the barn. This morning, we'll be heading to God's own state, Abia, where there are rumblings and agitations. I must tell you that most of us in the media love Alex Oti. The kind of image he has in the media is that of distinctive delivery. But there are rumblings, and these rumblings began, I think, on Tuesday, when a group, an association in Abia's best interest association, addressed the press in Abuja. That conference began to raise queries about that image, began to raise queries about accountability, began to raise queries about appropriate prioritization, and began to raise queries about acknowledging the legacies of the past administration. That conference raised the matter of, is Abia being born today? Is Abia being invented today? And so this morning, I have former Commissioner for Information in Abia State, Dr. Eze Chikamnayo. Eze, welcome to the program.
My brother, I appreciate it.
How has it been?
I'm doing very well, and you're not doing badly too.
We thank God for every day.
I don't know how you managed to look younger.
Let me ask you,
yes.
Abia is called God's own state.
Yeah.
It appears that God has abandoned Abia.
Never now. How can you say a thing like that? God will never abandon Abia state. Abia is in God's hand, remains God's own state, and will ever be God's own state.
You addressed that press conference on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And from my assessment of that press conference, it appeared that the Philistines are having a hand, they're kind of defeating the Lord's army.
No, what we did is, you see, there's a challenge we're having in Nigeria as a whole, not just Abia State. And that's the challenge that people tend to support governments based on sentiments and not based on facts. So if you are from the north and probably your brother is the president of Nigeria, for as long as he's president, he does no wrong. If you are in party A and your party man is governor, for as long as it's your party, he could do no wrong. And that is a major challenge for us as Nigerians. If you play back, a little to 2015, when the late Muhammad Buhari became president, and he started making some 40 steps, the moment anybody come and say, why is this our president behaving this way? You hear, my friend, you are part of the PDP. After all, you people were here for 16 years. Yes. Keep quiet. You have no moral standing to talk about anything that is concerning this nation. So Buhari rode on that defense. People were making excuses for him. And before you know it, 8 years went. And all of that 8 years, everything that was supposed to have been changed was blamed on PDP that was no longer in power. Now, a new government is in power at the center. And I quarrel every day with people who will come and tell us, after all, Buhari did not do well. That is a major fault. A very faulty way of reasoning. You see, people are supposed to be adjudged based on 3 parameters. 1, the promises they made. Because you are not supposed to take the people for granted when you are running elections. You are supposed to be a man of honor. And you're supposed to promise only those things that you can achieve.
And you can provide.
Because if you don't, I'm a lawyer, in law, there's a section of the law we call obtaining by false pretense. If a politician obtains his mandate by false pretense through making frivolous and highfalutin promises, he's as guilty as a swindler who went to promise a good he cannot deliver. So most politicians today are high on promises but low on performance. And because they are low on performance, they now become high on propaganda in order to cover their inability to fulfill the promises they have made. And that's the challenge we're having in Abia State today. In Abia State today, we have a government that was swept into power by two factors. The Obi wave. Our people were tired of marginalization, and our brother Obi was running, and every Igbo man wanted to make sure that we gave Philip to that ambition, at least to assuage all the years of marginalization in terms of the presidential seat of Nigeria. So Peter Obi was there, and because he was on the ticket, a lot of people jumped into that bandwagon of the Labour Party, and they were delivered in their various positions. Sometimes the people that were voting for them didn't even know who exactly they were voting for. There was no opportunity to check those individuals in Labour Party based on their antecedents and their capacities and their level of delivery in terms of what they have done in the past.
They rode on the back of favorable sentiments.
Yes, exactly. So now,
yes,
in Abia State in particular, we have a Labour Party government, and most people who like Peter Obi all over the country, the people you call obedience, to them the Labour Party government in Abia can do no wrong. So even when you are telling them that this Labour Party government in Abia State is not delivering on promises, concrete promises, projects that you can see based on resources available to the government at this material time, the groundswell of obedience across the country who dominate the social media will shut you down. Because in Nigeria, you support the government you like, whether the person is doing the right thing or not, and you try to demonize public officials you don't like, maybe because they belong to a particular party that is at variance with your own party. But let's come to specifics.
Yes.
In Abia Best Interests Association, we took a look, a very hard look at the books. There is what you call the budget performance reports that our sister Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala did a very fantastic job as Minister of Finance by saying, Mr. A, Mr. B, if you are governor of a state, before you come to the center to collect money for second quarter of 2025, please give us an idea of what you have done with monies released to you in the first quarter. Mr. Governor, before you qualify for World Bank assistance or for particular projects, you must give us your budget performance report for the year preceding that year you are making the request. So we looked at, we are not interested in lampooning Alex Otti, but we say, let us see, this Alex Otti made some promises to Abians, part of which was transparency and accountability. He harped repeatedly on what he considered the lack of transparency and accountability of the previous governments. And he said, when I become governor, I'm going to be the most transparent governor in Nigeria. I'm going to be the most accountable governor in Nigeria. After all, I'm a banker, I'm an economist, and all of that. And Abians trusted him. And for one reason or the other, he found himself there as governor. So the question we are asking, the simple question we are asking, is Alex Otti today living up to his promises? Or has he obtained his mandate
by false pretense?
By false pretense? And our own answer is yes. From the report available to us, facts, not fiction, from the evidence as submitted by him, not produced by any other source, but Abia State government, what they submitted in their budget performance report for 2024, that it appears from that document that Abians are in a government of one chance. The more you look, the less you see. let me buttress one point. What I'm wearing here, if you look at me here, is, look at this. I said Governor Alex Otti. Where are the 51 public schools which you purport to have built with 54 billion? We just took one out of the lots because there are so many other unresolved issues. But we say this one is what everybody can see, because evidence, in law we say evidence is the end of argument. Everybody in Abia State can see schools. Schools are not buried beneath the earth. And he came to the budget of last year, 2020-2024. He budgeted for public schools. At the end of 24, early this year, he sent a report that he had built, completed, delivered 51 public schools at the cost of 54 billion. So what we went in our conference to tell him yesterday, yes, Mr. Governor, you have delivered 51 public schools. You have spent 54 billion purportedly. Where are the public schools? Just give us a simple list. School number 1, school number 2, school number 3, all the way to 51. That is in the first column. 1, 2, 3, 51. Second column, location of the schools. Let us see them. Third column, pictures depicting the new schools that have been constructed. 4, in the spirit of transparency, contractors that handled those projects in line with due process and accountability. Simple. We have 17 local governments in Abia State. You have built 51 schools across Abia State. You have spent 54 billion. On the average, which means at every local government, if you multiply 17 by 2 billion, it will give you 34 billion. You still have over 10 billion left. Okay? Let's assume that every local government in Abia got 2 billion worth of public schools. Where are the schools? We can't see them.
Okay, no. Let us not, don't give me the answer yet. Because I'm going to ask you and your group, your association, as you make these demands, have you yourselves taken time to know whether these schools were built or renovated and where they are located? Or did you search and you did not find?
Thank you very much. I'm just coming back from a tour now. We went on a tour. I have the video. I will make them available to you. We went on a tour of local government by local government. We even went to the governor's local government. It's Alangwa South. We couldn't see one. In some local governments, we saw some schools that are being renovated through ASUPEB. You know what it's called? State Universal Basic Education Board. State Universal Basic Education Board is a joint, is funded through federal government, state and local government. They are different, it's a different thing altogether. It's not what we are talking about. We are talking about under subhead education in Abia.
In the Abia
budget performance report. There's a difference between budget.
Yes, I was coming to that.
Budget really. And budget.
In other words, it's a report that I have done this.
Retirement. I gave you 20 million to run this station. You come back for another 20 million. The owner of this station says no. Before accountant should release more money to you.
Yes. Account for the last.
Manager, account for the last one, and you brought your account. So what we are saying is budget performance report submitted by Alex Otti himself indicates that 51 public schools have been built, furnished, completed as at 2024 at the cost of 54 billion. And these 51 public schools are existing only on the internet. We can't see them. So we now came and said, okay, let us assume without considering that maybe our search, our microscope was 40. Give us a list. Yourself. We say Commissioner of Education. Just give us a simple list, a guide. Go to Umunochi local government. Go to Isochis. Go to Ngodo. You will see one school. See the picture. See the signboard. See the contractor. See the date. See the time. See the amount. That is transparency. That is accountability. Because that money does not belong to LST. It belongs to the people of Abia State. He's a custodian. In trust.
By the way, to whom did he submit this performance report?
To the Minister of, I told you that the sequence, every state, that's why governors can be held accountable. And I want to Nigerians to please do this. Go to the Minister of Finance, Federal Minister of Finance. Look at budget performance report of your different states, not just Abia.
Yeah.
Look at your governors. They have submitted what they have presumably done.
With the money they are collected.
They have collected. Like the president said the other day, let this grass at the grassroots be watered. I have been releasing this money. Yes, I have removed subsidy, but I can't eat the money. And I can't share the money at Ogbete market. I can't share it at Abia market. I have to pass it through constitutional channels back to the people. So the president removes subsidy, President Tinubu. Abia State, as at 2023, the last allocation they received was 5 billion. By May, subsidy removed. By August, Abia State was receiving 18 billion. So what it means is that every state in Nigeria, Enugu State, Abia State, Anambra State, there is a boom. The whole money has been mopped up and channeled to the state actors, the subnationals. So some governors are making good use of it, paying off pension arrears, paying off arrears of gratuities, paying off debts, paying off all the liability, doing new roads that couldn't have been done before, building gigantic legacy projects that were unimaginable before because of lack of funds. Now funds are available. So in Abia we say, okay, in the name of accountability, in the spirit of transparency, Mr. Governor, we have seen you have submitted the report that you did 51 schools. You said it cost 54 billion. Well done, Mr. Governor. You have tried. Please show us the list.
Where are they?
Where are they? It shouldn't be a difficult
well, it's
because these are completed.
Yeah, but these
are completed. Purportedly completed
as contained in his own
report. State budget performance report. What I have done with the budget of last year. Remember, as of 2023, which we don't want to emphasize, from May 2023 to December 2023, SLT also in the Ministry of Education budget performance took 14 billion for public schools under the subhead. We are just using, we are using public schools as a case in point. In 2020, he took 14 billion public schools. The whole of 2024, he took 54 billion. This 2025, first and second quarter, he has also taken another 18 billion in the name of public schools. But we don't want to combine 23, 24, 25. We say, let us just say from January 24 to December 24, the 54 billion, 51 schools as contained in that. Show us the schools. Location, amount, pictures. Pictures don't lie. What I expected between yesterday and now is to see all over social media pictures of fantastic schools flying from the media
to counter
what I have said, from the media office of SLT, from the Commissioner for Information there, from the Commissioner for Education.
But I have a worry here, Dr. Eze, and that is this governor has reported to the federal ministry, which, if in doubt, would have cross-checked. Because the essence of that performance report is to be sure that indeed what you claim you did, you did.
It is not the duty of the federal. Let me correct that.
Yeah, please do. You were commissioner in
government. Yes, it's not the duty of the federal government. Okonjo-Iweala did that. And before, everything about monies that go to state and local governments were shrouded in secrecy. Okonjo-Iweala came and said, come on.
It's public resources.
Public resources. She was publishing Umunochi local government. Your allocation is 300 million. Before, nobody knew who got what. And she now threw the challenge back to us, the citizens, and said, this is what I have given to your governor. This is what I have given to your chairman. I'm not going to, as Minister of Finance, come and hold them
to account.
It is your money. I have released it. I have done my bit.
You go, coach. You go check
whether this money I have been used for. In Igbo language, you say, "Ga manama ego ozutariha toria naya." It is not the Ministry of Finance or Okonjo-Iweala to go around the 704 local governments in Nigeria to check what a local government chairman has done. It's not a duty to go to governor. It is a duty, it's citizenship responsibility. It's not enough to say Tinubu is not doing well. Yes. While we are holding Tinubu to account globally at the national level, we ought to be more stringent in holding our governors and local government chairmen to account. For instance, There is no local government in Abia State today that receives less than 300 million every month from the federation account. We are also members of the oil producing states, NDDs. We get a whole lot of money from there. There is also the ecological fund. There's also the internally generated revenue. So there's money everywhere.
And it's 13% derivation.
So now, how do you now expect the people in Abuja to come and do your citizenship responsibility for you? So what we have done, we are not insulting our dear Governor Alex Oti. We are not against him. We are just simply asking a question. Sir, please, sir, this school where you say you don't build, as you don't report them for this document, I beg.
Now you write them.
Now you write them. Now you submit. Say now our money where you collect. See what you don't use do. Please show us where these schools are located. By now, because this is something that presumably have been completed as at 2024.
And it's on ground.
It's on ground. We are not talking about new schools that are being constructed. Somewhere this morning, somebody sent me some pictures of ongoing construction of about 3 or 4 secondary schools. I said, no, you are getting it wrong. We are not talking about ongoing construction. We are talking about finished work, finished money.
Because by the report, those jobs have been completed.
The monies have been paid away. The money has left Abia State government coffers.
You were in government.
Yes.
You were in government.
Yes.
Can I be better educated? Sometimes government pays money to contractors, and the contractors don't meet the timeline.
That's exactly the transparency we are talking about.
Because the contractor will still have the money.
If you saw when I started this with you, I said we have 4 columns in our demand. Name of school, number 1 to 51. Location of school, number 1 to 51. Name of contractor. Picture of the current status
and
of the project and the amount released to each contract. If we have that data, the burden shifts away. We will not say Mr. Governor has released 20 billion out of 54 billion to measure so and so to complete 3 schools in Isukwato local government.
Mr. What are you waiting for?
Mr. This.
What are you doing with public money?
What are you doing with our money? This job ought to have been completed as at 2024, as is published in this budget performance report. Then the burden of proof shifts to the contractor. But when there is no known contractor, what we now is not unknown government will now have. We have unknown projects.
Okay, no, let me.
Because no known contractor, no known location, no known amount. All you hear is LSOT is doing very well. LSOT is performing wonders. LSOT is a good government. LSOT is the best government.
You are tickling the media.
So those slogans,
you are tickling the media, not me.
Those slogans. This, we don't want to run government of slogans, propaganda. Nobody is talking about LSOT, whether it's a bad man or a good man. Governance and government is not about bad man and good man. It's not a monastery. It's not a convent. Neither is it a church. It's not a place where we talk about moral rectitude. We're talking about delivery, efficiency. If you go to a company, a corporate organization, and by the way, my brother, our governments ought to run like a company.
Sure.
Because it is people's money. When I was in the corporate business, before I came into public service, when we come to our board meetings, our MD will remind us that, look, gentlemen, this is people's money that we took from the bank. The bank doesn't own money. The bank warehouses people's money, and bank has looked at us as trustworthy corporate organization, and they have released this money to us. Our duty is to entrust. Our duty is to use this money and do business, pay back this money to the bank so that the owners of the money can access their money. The bank will make profit and the company will make profit. That's how government. I don't know, when you are talking about government, people think of some government is supposed to be run like that. The federal government has given people's money to LSOT belonging to 4 million Abians. The 4 million Abians have allowed the LSOT as a company to warehouse this as the MD of Abia Resources. LSOT, this money that came into your coffers
on our behalf,
you have reported to us and published in the budget performance report submitted to Abuja that you have done 51 schools in 2024. You have spent 54 billion
of our money
on such schools. Just show us where it is. Oh, is that rocket science?
Okay, Dr. Eze, I want to still go back to what is today Alex Oti's credentials as being published in the public space. You were in government. Today, every commentator in the media says Alex Oti has reinvented Abia, Ariaria market. That in the many leprous fingers of Abia, Alex Oti has healed completely the Ariaria leprous finger. And that people are excited. And let me be personal. I have a younger cousin who lives in Aba. And some time back, he bought a keke. And because of the terrible state of Aba roads, he almost became a beggar. Today, he says, he's brought out his dilapidated keke, managed to put 1 or 2 knots to it. And because of the quality of roads in Aba, he says to me, I've not been to Aba of late, that is making out a living managing that old contraption. That seems to be a certificate of performance in Aba given to Alex Oti. Now, can you counter that?
Now, you know, I'm a very scientific mind, apart from being a legal mind. And there's what we call induction and deduction in reasoning. So let's do a simple inductive reasoning. If not that we're already live, I will just ask you to put a call across to that your cousin and play it before our publics. You will find out that 85 to 90% of the roads that are good in Aba today were done before Alex Oti become governor. Ukebu Road, Umuola Road, the whole of Obohir, through Ururuka Road, through Osokwa Road, back to the express, were done under the previous government of Okezi Bazo. Mivatin, Park Road, Ezuku Road, and all the way through Azikiwe Road, down to George's Street by the east, were done under the previous government. Ojuzo Kalu did a whole lot of work in the rural areas. He did the long stretch of alternate road that moved from Umuahia through Obingwa to Aba. Tudoji did his bit in the administrative infrastructure of Abia State. He built the International Conference Center. He built the ultra-modern civil service complex. He built the new House of Assembly complex. He built the new Zone 9 complex and opened up what we call the Ogurube layout, a new government station layout in Umuahia, where he started a new government house. What am I saying in essence? Abia was not invented or invented in the last 24 months and couldn't have been. Alex Oti has done Port Harcourt Road that was started by Ibazo. Ibazo started it, did the demolition, did the drainages, did the first course, was caught up with the last rain. He couldn't finish it. Alex Oti came with Julius Berger and have completed it. It's a very beautiful road now. Alex Oti is working on Ohanku Road, working on all the roads around Ungwa Road. When he leaves office, you will credit him with those great job he has done around the Ohanku Road, Ungwa Road, Port Harcourt Road as is. But you are not going to credit him with building a Immaculate Road or credit him with building a Ukebu Road. So, as an incremental enterprise, several governors come, some live up to and add to development. Some live up to expectations, some below par, but definitely they make their input. So, coming to make that, that's what I say, government of Sulegaring, government of propaganda, government of exaggeration is a disservice to the people and a disservice to truth. Coming out to say Alex Oti has changed Abia State, Alex Oti has revolutionized Abia State, and you say how? Empirical evidence does not show that. Rather, empirical evidence shows that Alex Otti is working on the minds of the people, classically conditioning their minds to believe that Abia was a forest before he came up, and that Abia suddenly became an Eldorado now that he's there. But when you look at the facts, it becomes a difficult thing to wonder how a person will do this type of disservice to the people. Now let me give you another instance. In that budget performance report, Alex Otti recorded that he has built recreational centers in Abia State to the tune of 7.2 billion. It's not this one. Why we brought this one up is that when you say recreational center, we may not have it in every local government. So it may just affect people in the urban area. So we say, okay, let's leave all of that. Let's just take one case study. In science, we call it a case study. The case study is the 51 schools built with 54 billion across the 17 local government. We are holding him to account and say, where are they? He has not shown us. It's now over 48 hours. No single release from the government to at least say this man has gone to national media. He has said this. He has challenged us. Oh yeah, Commissioner for Education, send this to AIT, send this to Signature TV, send this to Arise. Tell them, show them the pictures. I have delivered what I claimed. Look at it. Up till now, nothing to show. He collected 7.2 billion in the name of recreational centers. Not one. It's nowhere to be found. He took 9.7 billion in the name of research and development. Even if he wanted to bring back Newton and bring back all the scientists and bring them to Abia State to do research and development, pray, what type of research and development did Alex Otti do with 9.7 billion in 2 years? And so on and so forth. He said he has paid off debt to the tune of 78 billion. Yet,
I'm going to come to that.
Yet,
Dr. Eze, I'm going to count, because there are also reports that the series of debts left by your government and the subsequent government after you is one of the loads being carried by the Abia State government, by the current Abia Alex Otti government, and that he's doing everything he can to service those debts, relieve those affected by those debts, and make them feel the impact of government. You give me your answer when we return from the break. Please, this is a two-part conversation with Dr. Eze Chikamnayo, former Abia State Commissioner for Information. He has been raising queries about transparency and delivered project by the Alex Otti administration. He's asking me hard questions here. I'm supposed to ask him, if Alex Otti says he delivered this, where are they? The second part, I'll ask him other questions. He who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Stay with us.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Welcome back. I still have my guest in the studio, Dr. Eze Chikamnayo, former Commissioner for Information under the administration of Ochendo. I think we are there twice.
Yes, incidentally, I think I have collected a cup and gone. I was Commissioner for Information.
Yes.
99 to a point around 2003, 2004.
Yes.
Under Ojikalu.
Okay.
Then I traveled, came back, was Commissioner for Information with Ochendo from 2010 to 2015, and then went back to do my law program, finished, became a lawyer, and then incidentally went back again to serve as Commissioner for Information. So I have the honor of serving the three governors back to back.
Very good.
I'm a working encyclopedia of developments
in Abia State.
So when I'm giving you, when I'm addressing issues, I carried a sense of responsibility, the weight of, responsibility, as I can be properly and adequately addressed as a statesman I've paid my dues in serving at the state. And today, running my own establishment here in Abuja, I can only offer, advice to my brothers, who are there serving the state at the moment. The reason why we are alarmed, because when you are close, say, hey, who comes to equity must come with.
Yes, I was going to give you some information.
There's something you call institutional memory, which is very essential in the running of organizations. It's useful because when you bring people who have been there, done that, sometimes you benefit from insight. I feel bad. I feel very bad, very hot, when some mistakes of the past
are
being repeated because people who are currently running government have refused to benefit from insight. I've been part of governments, and I've also been part of those who believe that commissioners all across Nigeria are very unfortunate citizens, because most times when you're a commissioner in an administration, you have little or no inputs as to certain decisions that the governor
at the sub-national level.
At the sub-national level, but you bear the liabilities of either and of course the credit for either the good and the bad.
The failures of that administration.
So, but to what extent were you
part of the organization?
Part of the decision making is debatable, and everybody who have served as commissioner in various states will attest to what I'm saying. But we will bear it with honor. But at least you can benefit from our experience if you're currently serving. And what I find very intriguing is the fact that the public never learns. Every new government that comes, the first 2 years, people are praising them to the high heaven. When Ojikalo started in 1999, before he was in office for 2 years, the whole country was awash. Action governor of Nigeria, action governor of Nigeria. And we are all part of it. We were excited, everything that were done. But when I look back, after so many years, almost 3 decades now, I will advise our people to keep their praise to themselves for some time. Okay. And, do some, analysis. Because lack of analysis is what is paralyzing our environment. Do some analysis. Ask some hard questions. Demand for, facts and not, fictions. In the case of SLT, the reason why all of us in Abia are shocked to our marrows is that, when he was coming to power, he made very, very specific promises. I will not sack civil servants, he said, before 2023.
He promised.
He promised. Today he has sacked over 15 civil servants. Reason, he said they were employed by the last administration. And the question is, the people he just employed 2 months ago, would it be right, moral, and just for the person who will succeed him
to sack them
when he leaves office? All the permanent secretaries and the directors that he met have been sent away. As at last week, we have done burial of about 7 of them. Because in the current situation of this country, when you unjustly push people out of their means of livelihood, you are indirectly giving them
they are not just heartbroken,
a death sentence.
They are economically broken.
They are finished. Now, he said he was very, very, very angry. He said it, and I'll send you the tapes, that all the arrears of gratuities and pensions from 1999 to date accumulated by successive governments, like you have rightly said, that he was going to push them away and bring succor and laughter. Whereas the previous governors were saying, we have limited resources. If we get 5 billion and the wage bill is about 2.4 to 3 billion and we run government, how do we pay gratuity and arrears? And truly, we all know that those previous governments were having issues of money, running from bank to bank, both locally and internationally, trying to borrow money. To the glory of God, SLT came. And to the glory of God, the opportunity to fulfill those promises also came at the same time. Tinubu came and removed subsidy and unleashed a boom. Abia now, in less than 2 years, okay, let me give you statistics I found out from the National Statistics Board. El-Rufai, Kaduna State, ran for 8 years with 800 billion. Ibazu ran for 8 years with 424 billion. So on and so forth in their era. Lesotho in 2 years has grossed 1.2 trillion. In 2 years. So no matter what you talk about the valuation of the naira or whatever you talk about, what we are talking about is that Peter Mba in Enugu State, who is getting less than Abia State, is posting the projects. We are seeing them, the smart schools. We are seeing the schools, the structures, the locations, and the things that are being done. The airports that he's helping to put back to use, the new airline, the agreements, the contractors involved, the dynamics, we are seeing them, and so forth and so on. We want to be able to join and promote our own governor and say, our governor has done 51 schools. We wear it as a badge of honor and say, look at our 51 schools. When Enugu people are showcasing their smart schools or showcasing their airline or showcasing any of the great things that their governor is doing. Last time I traveled by road, as soon as I hit Otuba, I came all the way to Nsukka, the road that goes to the university. By the left, the road will normally take, a way between Nsukka and Enugu, the bypass. Yes. Okay, I saw that the road is being dualized. That forests are being, cleaned out, and the road is being dualized. Physically, I could see them. My friend, former Honorable Naji, I saw that his fence had been broken, and that road is being widened. So these are, evidence does not need argument. So when those things are happening, I should be able to come to my state and say, see what my governor is doing with our resources.
God is still with us.
So asking these questions is not a sign of hatred. It's not even politics. It's just we have asked them privately, and we are not having any answers. But rather, we are being inundated by slogans. Lesotho is the best governor. Lesotho is the best governor. Say, we want to agree with you. Just show us, and it will surface.
Let me tell you some.
Give us a list.
Let me tell you a group or two.
And up till now, up till now, there is no recreational center anywhere in Abia State, and 7-point-something billion has gone. Up till now, there is no single picture of any public school, not one, completed. When Ochendo was governor, T.A. Oji, as a civil servant, former civil servant, he concentrated on the administrative infrastructure and he built visible secretariats. Since Lesotho became governor, he has not laid the foundation stone of any structure, not one, anywhere in Abia. No single legacy building. And yet over 1 trillion naira has gone. There are bloggers in Nigeria that are collecting 70 million naira retainership from Lesotho. Every skit maker in Nigeria is on his way to Abia State every single year to collect retainership. Every social media handle has positive things about her. There's one that normally combs his empty head. He's always posing with Lesotho, taking pictures. And we're saying we have 1 trillion naira. My brother, we have 1 trillion naira that has come in and more. You have built Port Harcourt Road, 6.5 kilometers. Everybody believes that contract was inflected, because when you are building 6.5 kilometers of a road that has already been started before you came, and you are claiming 36-point-something billion, let us assume that 6-point-something billion. Let's not
was expended.
So we are saying, okay, you say you have done capital projects, building of roads in Abia to the tune of 300 and something billion. Let's remove the 36 billion you say you spent on Port Harcourt Road. Let's remove the 7 billion you spent from Tower to inside the town. Let us remove the ones you are even the ongoing projects. All that we have added together based on his own reports, it's not up to 100 billion on roads. Yet, by SEFTA's report, the budget performance report, over 300 billion has been taken away. So a lot of people are wondering, and questions are being asked. SARS, is it possible there's a conflict of interest? Is it possible that Abia money is going somewhere? People have come out to say that SLTV started a bank just 3 months before he became governor, the Signature Bank. That bank had less than 3 branches.
By the way, I want to say there's no relationship between Signature TV and Signature Bank. Please, that's no relationship.
Yeah, I remember you have
Signature TV is
okay,
it's a journalist-owned television outfit.
Now there's a bank SLTV had. The chairman of that bank, Dosumu, is also the chairman of Julius Berger at the time, and that was why issues of conflict of interest was raised when SLTV, before even he was sworn in, already awarded Port Harcourt Road to Julius Berger, and say, okay, you are awarding Port Harcourt Road to Julius Berger, where the chairman of Julius Berger is also the chairman of your bank. But let's assume, without conceding, that all the due processes were followed and the rest, and concede to him the 36 billion, which, by the way, by now is ranking in the Guinness Book of Record as the most expensive road in the Nigeria.
Guinness Book of Records.
Yes, because Dave Umahi is building the coastal road, and he came out to address Nigerians on Arise TV and said the worst part of the coastal road is being delivered at the cost of 4 billion naira per kilometer. The worst part. The best part is at 1.2 billion per kilometer. But SLTV's Port Harcourt Road, which is an existing road inside the town, no swamp, no bridge, no hard terrain, is grossing at 6.5 billion per kilometer. 6.5 billion per kilometer. These are hard facts. If you are building Port Harcourt Road about at 6.5 billion per kilometer, and Dave Umahi is building coastal road in the swamps at 4-point-something billion, the worst part of it, that has bridges and roads and the rest of them. SARS, is it possible there is something fishy somewhere? Is it possible that the contract is inflated beyond imagination? But let us assume, without considering.
Now, let us put this assumption.
Yes.
Because I'm told, I'm not a soil engineer,
yes,
that Port Harcourt Road has been a no-go area, and in fact has defied government after government and required special treatment.
The issue is what you are told is different from what is real. What is real is that the hardest part of every road is the initial stages of demolition of structures, drainages, managing the water movement and the rest. I said all of that have been completed before SLTV became governor. And pictures don't lie, videos don't lie. I will supply them to you. Port Harcourt Road, we have finished demolition, we have done the drainage, we have done the channeling of the flood all the way to waterside. But because of the rainy season, the first course that was done with sand and mud and the rest of them became impassable. But I said, be that as it may, can that be compared to the coastal road at the ocean, where you have to do some filling on layers and layers and red law? No single piece of road was laid on the it's not cement technology that was used, it's asphalt. So Julius Berger went in there and collected 36.5 billion for less than 7 kilometer roads, and it is today on record the most expensive road delivered anywhere in Nigeria.
Thank God it's not in the
it has gone into the Guinness Book of Record because you can't find any such expense even if you convert to dollars. But let's assume that all of that was proper, and you have a governor said, I have collected 300 billion for road construction capital projects, and we said remove 36 billion, remove 7 billion Osa Road, remove this, remove. By the time we did all of that with the calculator on the table, we are yet to see where almost 200 billion is. But we are seeing, a lot of people are seeing that Signature Bank of SLTV that started with less than 3 branches as at April 2023 now has over 10 branches across the country, and that the recapitalization of 500 billion, which other banks are struggling, existing banks are sweating and doing everything to fulfill, that if you go to Signature Bank, it's not a challenge. So the question is, why are contractors whom we cannot see, why are they being made to be people who must have accounts in the Signature Bank? Why are all government activities being channeled to that bank? This is conflict of interest. This is unconscionable. This is illegal. So what is making us even more surprised and shocked is that this man who is having issues of conflict of interest, having issues of inflation of contracts, having issues of unknown projects, unknown locations, unknown contractors, why is he being presented as the best performing governor in the southeast?
Maybe let me
best performing governor in Nigeria.
Let me answer.
Best performing governor in Africa.
I have to answer you. Why I have to answer you? Because let us look at all the narratives. Your narrative and the other narrative. The narrative in the public space is that Alex Otti has diligently been attending to the needs of retirees progressively. These are retirees who were not paid by your administration and the administration after that was left a humongous amount of debt in that regard, unpaid pensions, no promotions, that has been progressively liquidating and making those retirees happy. I'm just telling you in the media.
Hold on,
what's in the public space.
You see, this your gymnastics and semantics of words is what is giving us now. Come on, for heaven's sake. Come on. All of this struggle you are doing with grammar can just be brought back to, when I go to Catholic Church and the Reverend Father is busy doing Anon, Incus, Dominus, this, I'm waiting for him at Amen. I don't hear Latin. I didn't go to seminary. All of this progressively, deductively, this, and what we are saying is how much pensions, gratuity arrears
has he offset
was available
or was left for him,
and I can answer you that here and now, and I challenge him to tell me everything that Abia owed, pensions, gratuities and the rest before LSOT came, from the creation of Abia till April. Every liability in terms of personnel and pensions, gratuity is not up to 50 billion. But LSOT has recorded in the budget performance report that he has spent 78 billion to offset debts. And we're saying, okay, if you have spent 78 billion to offset debts, and there are no contractor debts left for you when you were coming in, not one, and the pensions, the pensioners in Abia State, by the way, 2 months ago, went on the streets again. The last time they were on the street was before the election against the previous administration. They went again, and they said that LSOT invited them to his private house and got them to sign an undertaking that they are going to forfeit all their arrears in lieu of him paying them regularly from the day he assumed office till death. And those old men said, this is not what you promised. How can we sign off our sweat? How can we sign off
our life savings?
Our life savings. This is not what you promised us. Zamfara State, over 12 billion paid. Anambra State, over 7 billion paid. And so many other governors. We want to know how much drawdown, how much have LSOT paid to as gratuities and pension. Not up to 10 billion. Not up to 5 billion. Shrouded in secrecy. The pensioners are back on the streets. I will give you their phone numbers now, as soon as we leave this program, to do your verification. Those pensioners, LSOT went on national TV 2 months ago to accuse the leadership of Nigerian pensioners in Abia of corruption, that he will not negotiate with them. Because the men came and said, how do you expect us to sign off? It's bad enough that you don't want to pay. But pay us what you can, but let the record remain that we are still being owed. Than for you to give the world impression that you have settled us by making us sign off our entitlements. And there was a breakdown. It took the leadership of Nigerian pension from Abuja to go there just 3 weeks ago and make some form of peace between LSOT and the pensioners, promising the governor that those men will not go to the press again. He should at least tamper justice with which means we are talking about promises made that have been broken.
That should be kept.
Trust that has been broken. So the paradox, what is incredible, is that when a governor that is confronting the pensioners, sacking civil service, confiscating funds belonging to local governments. LSOT, as a Labour Party opposition party leader,
Governor,
was all over the media telling the whole world that whereas PDP was using transition committee chairman, whereas PDP was using local government funds that should have been used for grassroots development, that when he becomes governor, that there was going to be a paradigm shift, that he will not touch local government funds, that he will not use transition government, that there will be Eldorado at the grassroots. Fast forward to 2023 to 2025, LSOT came, and not only did he sustain the transition committee arrangement of appointing TC chairman, he now rechristened them and elevated them to mayors.
Okay.
And for over 1 year, he took the Supreme Court.
I'm busting my time.
He took the Supreme Court judgment to force him to conduct a quasi election, wherein he went to ZLP, Zenith Labour Party, and imposed a set of lackeys against the Labour Party that even made him governor. Today in Abia State, not one, all the local governments are grounded, local government funds are confiscated, they don't reach the grassroots, and everybody is left in shock. So the conclusion is, a man who has confiscated the local governments, a man who is posting phony projects, unknown projects all over the social media, a man who is confronting the civil service and the pensioners, intimidating people, how will you now come? Our people, you and I, and all of us in the media should take ourselves to a soul-searching expedition. Because if skit makers, bloggers are complicit in this conspiracy to present Labour Party and the LSOT as their poster boy, as the best governor in Nigeria, whereas facts on the ground, irrefutable facts on the ground, present a different picture.
Okay,
we are complicit.
In other words, you are accusing all the media. I think what I promised Dr. Eze is that these are his words, these are his assertions. There have been counters in the media, which is what he's contending with. We found out the truth, and we confront his narrative with the facts.
Exactly.
And I like noise, but I like the noise of fact. Whatever the fact leads, there we go. That's the promise today. But all I can do for this morning, two-part conversation, I've told you. We are going to run this twice, so that continuously for those 2 days, people will get to understand the issues at stake. As the program is running, you get to also search by yourself, so that in the last time when we return, we put the phone on the table and we hear you while we also go confirm.
And promise me also, if you can, that you are going to create an opportunity where you bring an officer, a current serving officer of Abia State government, to this program, and myself. Let's have a tripartite discussion where the Abia State government official will sit here, I'll sit here, and we're able to look at facts and figures.
Okay.
So that, let the public decide. In law, we say res ipsa loquitur. The facts speak for themselves. We are saying, give us project, location, name, amount. Nobody is giving us. Give us all of this thing that is being painted. Is a good man. Is a wonderful man. Abia has changed. Abia has transformed. Abia is now heaven on earth. Give us empirical evidence.
Okay, I must abbreviate him because so that this can come within the time schedule.
Yeah.
I'm not believing him. I'm allowing him to speak. He has also opened the other side of it. The government will not to speak. If the facts contradict what he said, then we'll ask him, who sent you on this journey? Because I understand, Dr. Eze, I understand that a chieftain of APC.
Can you
just ask me straight?
Can you?
Are you a chieftain of the APC?
I belong to the APC.
In other words, is this a political?
I belong to the APC, but I'm first of all an Abian before I became
APC member. Okay, he is not. He says all he said is not tainted by partisanship. He is speaking on behalf of the Abia people. Dr. Eze, what I can do now because of time. Let me thank you for coming.
I appreciate it, my brother.
We meet again.
I appreciate it.
My name is Mwabose Njoko. This conversation never ends. All I can do, thank you for investing your time with us this morning. Have a great day.